Dear students, welcome to the next lectures of electrical measurement. So in the last lecture we discussed about the PMMC type instrument when they are used as ammeters, that is for measuring the different values of the current. Okay. So we had seen the circuit of the ammeter. So actually the PMMC instrument when it is used as an ammeter. Okay, and in the end of that lecture we also discussed the concept of swamping resistance. So in that we discussed that swamping resistance is nothing but it's a series resistance which is connected in series with the moving coil, you can say, of the PMMC type instrument, and this is employed to reduce the errors which can occur due to the change in resistance of the moving coil due to the change in the temperature. Okay, so we had seen that the material of the swamping resistance is chosen such that it has very low resistance temperature coefficient as compared to the moving coil, and it is having also large value as compared to the resistance of the moving coil, so that if due to temperature change the resistance of the moving coil changes, the overall change in the resistance that is the resistance that is the combined resistance of the, you can say, coil and the swamping resistance would be negligible. Okay, so this much we have discussed in last lecture. Now in this lecture we will just continue our discussion, and today we will start with multi-range ammeters. Okay, so what we learned in previous lecture is that a PMMC instrument can be used as an ammeter when a shunt is being connected in parallel with the coil. Okay, so the multi-range ammeter, now let me just first draw the circuit, then we will discuss. Let us suppose that this is the meter, so this will just be connected to this point. Okay, so this will be at this point, and all these will be connected from this end. So this is the resistance of meter Rm, this is Rs1, this is Rs2, this is Rs3, this is Rs4. so these are different shunt resistances. Okay, Rs1, S2, S3 and S4, and these are the different, let me just name the terminals, name the different points, C, D, E. This can be named as A, and this point can be named as B. Okay, so now this circuit, actually this describes a multi-range ammeter by using these different switched shunts. Okay, so a rotary type of switch can be employed in this circuit to select any of the shunt resistances which are present, and all of these shunt resistance will have different values. Okay, so these shunt resistance, this is rs1, this is rs2, this is rs3 or rs4, all these will have different values. Okay, and any one of these shunt resistance can be connected in the circuit by using this switch. So this represent a switch. Okay, I have marked this point. Okay, this represents a switch, this arrow type. Okay, so this arrow can be connected to any of these points. Okay, so at starting, if it is connected to this point B, so this means that this rs1 is now in the circuit of this meter. Okay, this is the value of the shunt resistance which we are using. Similarly, if we connect this switch to point C, okay, so just disconnect it from this point B and instead we connect it to this point C. So this will just connect this shunt resistance rs2 in the circuit. Similarly, by connecting this switch at point D and at point E, rs3 and rs4 will come into the circuit respectively. Okay, and since these resistances, these shunt resistances, they have different values, so for each shunt resistance being present in the circuit, this instrument will have a different range of current which it can measure. So this is the concept of the multi-range ammeters. Okay, so this is one way of having this multi-range ammeter. This is one possibility, this is one circuit. We can have another arrangement for the multi-range ammeter. Let me just draw it as well. So this is R1, R2, R3, Rm. Okay, this is the current flowing through meter, this Im. Okay, so this is point B, this is point C, this is point D. Okay, let us just extend this point till here. Okay, so this is point B. Now this is a switch, and it is represented as this point A. This is the current which is flowing, that is I, that is the total current. Okay, and this is the current flowing through shunt. This is meter current Im, and this is the voltage, you can say. We can represent it with Vs. Okay, now this is another arrangement of the multi-range ammeters. Okay, now these resistors which are shown here as R1, R2 and R3, that is these resistors, this is R1, this is R2 and this is R3. So these resistors actually constitute an I-10 shunt. So we can call R1, R2 and R3. So this is a type of arrangement which is called Ayrton shunt. Okay. Now in this figure, what you can say, that when the switch is at contact B, as is shown here, let us suppose that this is the switch. Okay, this is the switch and it is connected to this point B. Okay, so as soon as this switch is connected at point B, the total resistance, you can see in parallel with the instrument is R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, so if this switch is at this point B, so in parallel, let us just write it down, that when the switch is at B, then the total resistance, that is this R1 plus R2 plus R3, will be in parallel with this Rm. So this constitutes the shunt resistance, that is all the three resistances will be connected in series if the switch is at this position B. Okay, so this constitutes the shunt resistance. So all these three will be in parallel with this Rm. Okay, now take another situation when the switch is now connected to this point C. Okay, so if the switch is at now point C, what will be the change? You can now see that the resistance R3 is in series with the meter. Okay, that is this resistance, because now this switch now is connected to this point. Okay, let me just show it with dashed lines. Okay, if the switch is now, let's suppose, connected to this point, then this R3 will be in series with Rm and R1 plus R2 will be in parallel combination of this R3 plus Rm, isn't it? So this R1 plus R2 will be in parallel with Rm plus R3. And similarly, if the switch will move to contact D, as is shown here, this is the point D. So if you now connect the switch at this point D, now only R1 will remain here in parallel branch. So R1 will be in parallel with Rm plus R2 plus R3. So if the switch is at point D, then R1 will be in parallel with Rm plus R2 plus R3. Okay, so because the shunts are permanently connected and the switch makes contact with the shunt junctions, so this instrument is never left without a parallel connected shunt. Understand? So this is you can say a necessity also in these type of instrument, because in any situation the instrument should not be left without a shunt in the circuit. Okay, because in that situation a current will flow in the moving coil that will be large enough to destroy the instrument. Okay, so that is why when switching between the shunts, we have to make sure that the shunt should remain connected in the meter circuit. There should be some shunt value. It should not happen that in between the instants of switching from one to another there is no shunt. So this second circuit, that is this Ayrton shunt type of circuit, ensures that at any time there will be always some shunt resistance which is connected in the circuit. Okay, so now depending on the values of the shunt which are connected in the circuit, there can be different ranges of the instrument. Okay, now let us take one numerical example. us solve one problem. A PMMC instrument has a 3 resistor Ayrton shunt connected across it to make an ammeter. Okay, so you can just take the this circuit as the figure for the next problem. Whatever I have drawn it, you just draw it on the on this problem. Okay, so this is the circuit. The resistance values R1, R2 and R3 are given as 0.05 ohm, 0.45 ohm and 4.5 ohm respectively. Rm equals to 1 kilo ohm and full scale deflection is 50 microampere. You have to calculate the 3 different ranges of the ammeter. Okay, let us start solving this problem. First of all, note down whatever is given in the problem. So R1 is given as 0.05 ohm. I am not drawing the circuit here because it is already drawn in the previous slide. You can just draw it again. Okay, so R2 will be equal to 0.45 ohm, R3 equals to 4.5 ohm, Rm equals to 1 kilo ohm, and full scale deflection of the meter will be 50 microampere. Okay, so 3 different ranges of the ammeter you have to calculate. Okay, so we'll just explore the possibility of connecting the switch one by one to all the 3 positions. That is first we connect the switch at point B, then we connect the switch at point C, and then finally at point D, and just we will see that what are the 3 different values of the current which we will obtain. Okay, so let us take the first case when the switch is at contact B. Okay, so in that situation the Vs, that is the voltage across the meter, it is already shown here, this Vs. Okay, so Vs will be equal to Im times Rm, that is 50 microampere multiplied by 1 kilo ohm. All these values are given to you. So this is 50 millivolt. So what will be this Is? This is Vs over R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, because in the very first case when the switch will be at point B, so R1 plus R2 plus R3, that will be the total, you can say, shunt resistance. So Is will be nothing but whatever will be the voltage across it, you just divide the voltage with the total resistance. So this we are doing here. So this voltage is given as 50 millivolt, or we have calculated this 50 millivolt, and R1, R2, R3 are also given in the problem. So you can just put the values here. You will get the answer as or you will get the value of this Is to be 10 milliampere. Okay, now what is the range of the ammeter? The range for calculating the range, you have to calculate this current. Okay, so this I will be equal to this Im plus Is. Okay, just apply Kirchhoff's current law. So this is 50 plus 50 microampere plus 10 milliampere. So this is 10.05 milliampere. So that means for this first case, when the switch is at position B, the ammeter range will be approximately, we can say, 10 milliampere. It is coming as 10.05, so we just take the approximate value, that is 10 milliampere. Now take the second case when the switch is at position C. Now calculate Vs. which will be Im times Rm plus R3, because if you move the switch to position C, this R3 will come in series with Rm, that we have already discussed in the previous slide. Okay, so now you just put the value here. This is 50 microampere, and this is 1 kilo ohm, and this is 4.5 ohm. So this will come something around 50 millivolt. Okay, so Is will be equal to Vs over R1 plus R2, that is 50 millivolt over 0.05 plus 0.45 ohm. Okay, this is in ohms, so it will be 100 milliampere. So total current will be equal to 50 microampere plus 100 milliampere, that will be 100 plus 100.05 milliampere. So that means for this second case, when the switch is at position C, the ammeter range will be 100 milliampere. Okay, so in the first case the range was coming to be 10 milliampere. In the second case, when the switch is moved to position C, the range is increased to 100 milliampere. Similarly, you just repeat the this procedure for the third case as well, that when the switch will be connected to point D. Okay, so you just repeat the procedure. You see that what will be the possibility, which resistance will be in series with which resistance. Okay, how you calculate these different values. Okay, so just you have to make very small changes, and in the end you will get the value of current in this case, that is this ammeter range for the third case will be about 1 ampere. Okay, so the range is you can say greatest for this third case. So I am just leaving this as an exercise for you. Okay, now come to the next topic, that is DC voltmeter. Okay, so we had seen that how the PMMC instrument can be used to measure the current, that is how it can be used as an ammeter. Now since it's an instrument which can read DC quantities, so this instrument can also be calibrated to act as a DC voltmeter, or it can read the voltage values as well. Okay, so because we know that the deflection of a PMMC instrument is proportional to the current which is flowing through the moving coil. So and this coil current is directly proportional to the voltage across the coil. So we can say that therefore the scale of the PMMC meter could be calibrated to indicate the voltage as well. Okay, so the coil resistance is normally quite small, and thus the coil voltage is also usually very small. So what happens is that without any additional series resistance, this PMMC instrument would be able to measure very low voltage levels. Okay, so generally what is done, that the voltmeter range is increased actually by connecting a resistance in series with the instrument. So the circuit of the DC voltmeter becomes okay. So this is the series resistance, which is represented as Rs. This is also called multiplier resistance, and this is that same Rm, which is the coil resistance. This is the voltage across the meter. Okay, so this Rs uh, you can say it is the multiplier resistance. Okay, so because it increases the range of the voltmeter, this multiplier resistance or series resistance, this actually increases the range of the voltmeter. So that is why we can call it as a multiplier resistance. Okay, so first let us see a short numerical example. Okay, a PMMC instrument with a full scale deflection of 100 microampere and a coil resistance of 1 kilo ohm, okay, is to be converted into a voltmeter. Determine the required multiplier resistance if the voltmeter is to measure 50 volt at full scale. Also calculate the applied voltage when the instrument indicates 0.8 of full scale deflection. Okay, so this much you have to do. Now the circuit is drawn already above, you can use the same circuit. So first, if you have to calculate this V, it can be this Im times Rm plus this Rs. So that means that this series resistance, which is Rs, can be Vm over Im minus Rm. Okay, so it is given in the problem that the voltmeter is to measure 50 volt at full scale. Okay, so that means that this voltage has to be 50 volt. Okay, full scale deflection. So for 50 volt full scale deflection, current is given as already in the problem 100 microampere. Okay, so what will be Rs? You can use this expression V over Im. So this V is the required value. Okay, that is 50. So 50 volt over 100 microampere, okay, minus 1 kilo ohm. So it will come as 499 kilo ohm. Okay, so this is the multiplier resistance value if the voltmeter have to read 50 volt at full scale deflection. This is one part of the problem. In the second part, you were asked to calculate the applied voltage when the instrument indicates 0.8 of full scale deflection. Okay, so what does it mean? That at 0.8 full scale deflection, that means that Im will be 0.8 multiplied by whatever is the full scale value given in the problem, 100 microampere. So it should indicate 80 microampere at 0.8 full scale deflection. So obviously this will change. Okay, so you just put the values here and you will get as 40 volt. Okay, so if the instrument is reading 0.8 times full scale deflection, then the applied voltage will be 40 volt. Okay, so similarly you can also do for other cases as well, like suppose if the instrument reads 0.5 of full scale deflection, then what will be the applied voltage, or any other value. Let us discuss swamping resistance again. So this thing we had already discussed in case of the ammeters. that is when the PMMC instruments are acting as the ammeter. Okay, so the background we already know that what is swamping resistance and why it is used. Okay, so generally what happens in DC voltmeter, that is when the instrument is being used as a DC voltmeter, we have already connected a series resistance in this moving coil. Okay, so this multiplier resistance we have already connected, so this can act as a swamping resistance for the DC voltmeter. Okay, so there is no need to you can say connect the extra resistance. Okay, this can just be this can just act as a swamping resistance. Okay, so in some cases you can say that it might be necessary to construct this multiplier resistance of manganese or constantan. Okay, because if you remember that the swamping resistance is generally made of manganese or constantan, so if we make this of manganese or constantan and it is also having the large value, okay, so this will serve the purpose of the swamping resistance in the case of the DC voltmeters. Okay, so this is about the swamping resistance. Similarly, come to multi-range voltmeters. Now as the ranges of the ammeters can be increased, okay, or changed, similar thing can be done for the voltmeters as well, that is its range also can be extended or can be increased. Okay, so let us first draw the circuits. So this is the meter resistance Rm. Okay, this is R1, R2 and R3. All these are the multiplier resistance, different multiplier resistance. Okay, and this is the switch which can be connected to any of these three, and this is the voltage. Okay, one more circuit can be drawn. So let us represent these as R1, R2 and R3. Again these are multiplier resistance. This is the meter resistance Rn. This is the voltage across the circuit. Okay, and these are different terminals which are available for connection. So the switch can be connected to any of these three, that is R1, R2 or R3. Okay, so these are the two possibilities of having the multi-range ammeter. So the difference between the two circuits is quite visible, that in this circuit only one of these multiplier resistance will be in picture, either you connect R1 or R2 or R3, whereas in this circuit the possibility can be this R1 will be in circuit, or if the switch is at this position then R1 plus R2 will be in circuit, or if the switch is at this position then R1 plus R2 plus R3 will be in circuit. Okay, so of the two circuits we can say that the circuit the second circuit, which is shown in the right hand side, is least expensive to construct. Okay, This is generally because of all of the multiplier resistance which is shown in this first figure, and they must be non-standard values. Okay, while in this second figure only R1 will be non-standard, and all other multipliers, they are standard resistors. Okay, so let us now try to solve one problem. Okay, a PMMC instrument with the full scale deflection of 50 microampere and Rn, that is the meter resistance, it is given as 1700 ohm, is to be employed as a voltmeter with range of 10 volt. Okay, so the voltmeter range is to be 10 volt. Calculate the required values of multiplier resistance for these circuits of these figures. Okay, so the figure is being shown here, so you have to calculate the value of the multiplier resistance. So now let us suppose we solve this problem by using this second circuit which is shown here. Okay, we will use this circuit. You can also solve it by using this circuit as well. Okay, so let us try to solve it. Now Rm plus R1, it will be V1 over Im. So that means that R1 will be nothing but 10 volt over 50 microampere, okay, minus 1700 ohm, it will be 198.3 kilo ohm. Okay, so this will be the value of R1. Similarly, Rm plus R1 plus R2. So these are the different possibilities when the switch will move contact from one position to another. Okay, so you can just see in the circuit as well, that is Rm plus R1 plus R2. Okay, so it will be V2 over Im. So R2 will be V2 over Im minus R1 minus Rm. Okay, so again just put the different values whatever is given. Okay, so in the first case it was given us to just have the range voltmeter range to be 10 volt. Okay, suppose if there is a second case in the same problem in which the voltmeter range is to be increased to 50 volt, let's suppose. Okay, so that is why we have represented here it as V1. So V1 means this first case, that is 10 volt, and V2 means if the range is increased to some other value, it can be 50, it can be 100. Okay, let us suppose it is 50 now, so it will be V2 over Im minus R1 minus Rm. So it will be, so you just put 50 here in place of V2, and rest of the values will be same, that is Im will be 50 microampere. Okay, R1 you have already calculated 198.3, Rm will be 1700, so R2 will come out to be 800 kilo ohm. Okay, so similarly if the range has to be increased to some other value, then you can also just calculate the value of the multiplier resistance for the same. Okay, so this is about the DC voltmeters. So PMMC type instruments can be used as ammeter as well as voltmeter for measuring the DC quantities, and the range also can be increased. Okay, so either we use them as DC ammeters or we use them as DC voltmeters. We can increase the range. Okay, so in case of DC ammeter, the shunt resistance have to be connected, which is the resistance connected in parallel with the moving coil, whereas in case of voltmeter the resistance is to be connected in series with the coil, that is called multiplier resistance. Okay, so with this much we stop today. This is all in this lecture. Thank you very much.